all the membership. So just so you know, we are recording this program. I would like to welcome all the membership present to the Calgary Interfaith Council Annual General Meeting for the year 2021 to 2022. My name is Dr. Harjot Kaur Singh, and I will be chairing this AGM. We're meeting via Zoom as this global pandemic still does persist. And at the time we set the date for this meeting, we weren't sure what the restrictions were going to be. Even though things have started to open up, there is quite a number of the Calgary population, and speaking as a family doctor, I can say it with some authority, quite a number of people sick still. So at my insistence, unfortunately, for the safety of all, we're having this meeting via Zoom. Hopefully going forward, the next engagements with membership and our next AGMs will be in person. We hope that as a Calgary Interfaith Council, you and your congregations, your members are all happy and healthy. And as we are transitioning away from the restrictions of this global pandemic with COVID and all the impacts that it's had on our faith communities and congregations, the Calgary Interfaith Council is also in a transition of organizational growth. The Calgary Interfaith Council is starting this new year of 2022 to 2023 with an evolution of maturity as an organization. It's been 5 years since the very first Interfaith Harmony Week. And as you may recall, the Calgary Interfaith Council was awarded the very first International Gold Medal for that interfaith programming in 2017. Each year, the Council has become stronger with wisdom, with greater participation and greater maturity as an organization. And very excitedly, we've been able to all will meet later on in the AGM. There is great excitement within the CIC board at having taken such a step. And the board does hope to show the membership how our organization can grow its participation further, its engagement, and its presence in the city of Calgary. As a collection of faith groups, we can accomplish greater things together for Calgary and its residents than we could ever accomplish individually. We are anticipating a finish time of approximately 8:15 local time to 8:20 for this AGM. So please keep yourselves muted until the roll call portion. And then once you've done your roll call, please mute once again. So at this time, I would like to start with the land acknowledgement and the prayer to begin the AGM. So I would like to call on Indigenous Minister Tony Snow to offer the land acknowledgement and opening prayer for the AGM. Tony, are you there?
Thank you so much. Yes, I am. So I will, in our tradition, we offer an opening prayer at the beginning of all things. We give thanks to the Creator. We give thanks for the blessings of our life, for the blessings of our community and our communion with creation, and the work that is before us to help to steward and to be responsible for the work that our elders have passed along to us. And in that way, we gather the medicines from the mountain areas, our sage, our sweetgrass, and our other elements that we incorporate into our prayer time purification, very much like the purification of the Second Temple. We take this as a purification to cleanse us of our ill thoughts, to bring us into accord and into harmony with one another, and to offer this incense as our prayer being carried to the Creator. And so as we do this, we bring goodwill and hope to all, that we might continue the work of building relationship that was established here in this land that we call Treaty 7. And so let us pray. Creator God, for all those that are gathered here, we give thanks. For all those who have come to this land to be part of this story, we give thanks. And for all those who are struggling, we know that that is part of our responsibility to help ease their suffering and to comfort them in this new space with peace and goodwill. We remember that our lessons that have been given to us by your instruction for our ceremony, and for our legends and stories, we know that there is much depth of understanding for the world around us that we wish to share, that we wish to imbue in others, that they might learn to respect this land, respect our relationships, respect all of the animals, the birds, the fish, and all those that we share creation with. In this way, we give thanks for each thing that you have provided in our lives freely and abundantly, that we might learn to flourish in partnership with creation. So for all these things, we give thanks in our traditional prayer. Om Chagezi, Twan Chezi, Jesus Christ, and Chairperson. The Chagawaka, Hogu Hwari Chinaris, Dari Chabichen, Agahaz Naguicha Nea Vichia. Amen. And so for our land acknowledgement, we give thanks for all those that have come here from different lands, all those that are here to remember that we are part of this great creation. Our acknowledgement today bridges lands and territories among the whole of creation. In this sacred space, we remember the lands to which we were first called into being, ancestral lands, holy lands, full of belonging and nurture, lands that spoke our language back to us, whose names were recognized in our ancestral tongues, and to whom we were recognized and known by our places of origin. In this symbiotic relationship, we learned about God, our creator, through the works of creation. And we learned purpose by observing the inner workings of ecosystems and the lives of our cohabitants, the animals, the plants, the rivers, the stars. Each in their own way followed God's plan. In this time of remembering and of sharing for our gathering, may we take these lessons of the past and invigorate them with new purpose, for we have much to repair and seek forgiveness for in our zest to rule over nature and nations. As we enter into this current era of change and fracture, may we find new ways of belonging that respect our fundamental traditions of being partners on Mother Earth, living in balance and beauty. Thank you.
Thank you, Tony, so much. Tony has been an integral part of our communications committee of the CIC, and that committee was chaired by Imam Hadi Hassan. And as membership, you may have noted our social media presence via email, via YouTube, website, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. At this moment, I'd like to call on Father Adrian Martins to briefly state the mission and purpose of the Calgary Interfaith Council.
So much for having me. You can all see our formal mission and purposes statement here on our website, but I just thought it would be best here to kind of explain that, just in our own words here. You've probably seen all our programming and the amazing work that we do here at the Calgary Interfaith Council, and this great news here of hiring our executive director here, Sarah, and she'll be speaking in a few moments. But really our purpose and our objective here at Calgary Interfaith Council is to bring together all different religious traditions and to ultimately, with the desire to bring peace in our city and in the world. So that would be our mission and statement. And you can see our formal statements here on our website.
Thank you so much, Father Adrian. And for our membership, Father Adrian was one of the 3 co-chairs of the Calgary Interfaith Council last year. And he also was the chair of the Building the Organization Committee as well. So now we're going to start the roll call. And I think that the roll call is a beautiful rosary, or in my culture, we would call it a mala. And it's the mala of our membership, with each faith group being a bead on the necklace of the Calgary Interfaith community. So as we do the roll call, and I will begin the roll call and then pass it to Naz. As we begin the roll call, please unmute yourself and briefly introduce your faith community, your name, and finish the statement. We support the work of Calgary Interfaith Council because or by, within one sentence, so that we can get through the roll call. Once you've finished your statement, please mute yourself once again. And so it is my privilege to start off this roll call, mala, the bead. Gurdwara Guru Ram Das Darbar. My name is Dr. Harjot Kaur Singh, and we support the work of Calgary Interfaith Council because the Sikh philosophy supports interfaith respect, celebration of diversity, and praise daily for the upliftment of all people. I pass it to Naz.
Assalamu alaikum, peace and greetings be upon all of you. I'm Naz Qureshi, representing A Common Word Alberta, an initiative supporting Christian-Muslim dialogue. We support the work of Calgary Interfaith Council because it aligns with our commitment to building peaceful and respectful relationships between different faiths. Thank you.
Hi, I'm the Reverend Dr. Jane Rowland. I'm the priest at St. Lawrence Anglican Church. We support the work of the Calgary Interfaith Council as one way in which we can work together in seeking healing and hope for our communities.
Amin, you're next.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Amine or Amina. Both is fine with me, whichever makes your life easier. I'm here on behalf of ATIK and its members, ATIK standing for the Anatolian Turkish Islamic Center. We support the Calgary Interfaith Council because today in Canada, with different religious groups, minority groups, and sub-minority groups, we need to find a way to begin engaging actively and constructively with each other. And to fully understand others, I believe we need to first deconstruct our previous knowledge and understanding of others. And I think CIS does an excellent job of this by giving everyone an equal voice. Looking back into my own faith, Islam, the Holy Scripture, the Quran, gives this responsibility to all believers, the responsibility to communicate, to engage, and to understand others and other faiths. So it's very important for us to be a part of CIS. Thank you.
And just a reminder, please, if we could keep those statements brief to one sentence. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Alex Andrews. I'm a representative of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, particularly in the Calgary North and Airdrie area. And the way that we support the mission and the vision of the Calgary Interfaith Council is to use the nomenclature of our faith traditions, is that we believe in caring for all of God's children and helping them come unto Jesus Christ, regardless of belief systems or backgrounds.
Eva?
Yes. Hello, I'm Eva Torn-Thomas of the Baha'i community of Calgary. We support the work of the Calgary Interfaith Council by participating in spiritual dialogue, prayer gatherings, organizational development, and serving on the board of directors. Because we believe that as people of faith are unified, we can build a better world.
Hi, I'm Dalton Harding from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints of Fish Creek Stake. I just really believe that as individuals and as communities, as we sit down with each other, get to know each other, learn to understand one another, that it makes us better people and better individuals.
Good evening. I'm Rabbi Cantor Russell Jane, representing Beth Tzedek Congregation in Calgary, a conservative Jewish congregation. We support the work of the Calgary Interfaith Council because, as in the words of Rabbi Abraham Kook, as a building is constructed out of different parts, so the truth of the light of the world will be constructed out of the different sides and different opinions, because they are all the words of the living God, each taking its place and station.
Good evening. My name is Jill Newman, and I'm here representing the Calgary Alliance for the Common Good. The Alliance supports the work of the Calgary Interfaith Council by working towards our common goal. That being, we're putting energy behind building a more just, compassionate, and respectful Calgary.
Hello, I'm Mariana Louise Kovar, and I represent the Calgary Unitarians. We support the Calgary Interfaith Council because as a community of many faiths with different perspectives and beliefs, we also share a common grounding in love, compassion, and service. When we bring that together in our conversations and our actions as a council, we have much to offer the wider community and the public discourse.
Joan?
Hello, my name is Joan Poulin, and I'm Secretary of the Council of Christians and Jews in Calgary. I think that in this world of divisiveness, there should be hundreds of organizations like the Calgary Interfaith Council, which brings people of all faiths and all kinds together.
Hadi?
My name is Syed Hadi Hassan. I'm from Hussaini Association of Calgary. I'm Imam there. Allah Azza wa Jal says in Quran, O mankind, we've created you into different genders, colors, tribes, and nations. So you can recognize one another, you can learn from one another. And that's what Calgary Interfaith Council stands for. And that's why I must support it.
My name is Sister Ger Curran. I'm a Catholic religious sister and I represent FCJ Christian Life Centre. We support Calgary Interfaith Council because we see it as a way of receiving and offering hope and reconciliation in our broken world.
My name is Tony Snow. I am the Indigenous Minister from the Chinook Winds region for the United Church of Canada. I'm also a member of the Stoney Nakoda First Nation, one of the signatories to Treaty Number 7. We support the work of Calgary Interfaith Council because it is a part of the long journey of reconciliation among all people, because all people are welcome here and belong, and because everyone matters.
Rox, you're next. Rox Joshi?
Yes. Good evening, everybody. I'm Raksh Joshi, and I belong to Hindu Society of Calgary. And we believe in interfaith, and we love all human beings getting together with their different faiths, with different ideas, which is a wonderful idea, and I like it. Thank you.
Rainer?
Hi, everybody. My name is Rainer Baisal, and I'm here on behalf of Intercultural Dialogue Institute Calgary. We support the work of Calgary Interfaith Council because our goals and objectives align as a fellow organization striving to promote peace, harmony, compassion, and understanding by promoting interfaith and intercultural dialogue.
Go ahead, Carrie.
My name is Carrie Davis. I'm with the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints and justserve.org. We support the work of CIC because we support gathering and working with people of different faiths and organizations and helping the vulnerable and needy in our city.
Jacob?
My name is Jacob Froese, representative of Mennonite Church, Alberta. Representative because the purpose of the Calgary Interfaith Council has become a winner within our Alberta communities. Obviously, because to build a just and respected Calgary, and of course, deepening relationships across faith traditions, very important.
My name is Susan Campbell, and I am part of Mount St. Francis Retreat Center, and we support the work of the Calgary Interfaith Council because our health as a vibrant community depends on building key partnerships and good partnerships in relationship with each other, recognizing our diversity, but also the things that we are unified with.
Alicia.
My name is Alicia Visanji. I'm with the Ismaili Muslim community, and we support the work of the Calgary Interfaith Council because of our shared values of really engaging in a pluralistic dialogue and the ability for us to come together and work together to improve the quality of life for those in the communities in which we live.
Jolene?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jolene Smith, and I'm here representing St. Mary's University. And we support the work of the council in building relationships. We think that's important, and it helps us support our students, staff, and faculty of all different faiths.
Wallace?
My name's Wallace Bornhuis, and I represent the Synod of Alberta and the territories of the Evangelical Lutheran Church in Canada and serve at All Saints Lutheran Church in Mindapore, Calgary. We support the work of the Calgary Interfaith Council because we believe it is important to build partnerships with other faith organizations to create a harmonious and welcoming society, embracing diversity.
Michael?
Hi, everybody. My name is Michael Tavo Clark. I belong to Temple B'nai Tikvah. We support the work of the Calgary Interfaith Council because we believe that together our religious traditions can help us build a just and compassionate Calgary.
Kara?
I'm Kara. I'm a member of St. Andrew's Anglican Church, and our community at St. Andrew's really values learning in order to be closer to God and closer to one another. And the Calgary Interfaith Council provides a very inviting vehicle for us to learn more and make deeper connections.
Anirban?
Unmute. Anirban Boshu from the Vedanta Society of Calgary. And the Vedanta Society of Calgary supports the Calgary Interfaith Council by providing the foundational truth of all interfaith activities. The two sentences, one from the Rig Veda, an ancient Vedanta scripture, truth is one, sages call it by various names, just as Dr. Rajinder Singh was saying in the front, the mala, the thread, that is one. And the beads, the sages call it by various names. And the second is what Raksh Joshi was talking about, is we believe, not only believe, we practice. And that is what Calgary Interfaith Council is actually practicing right now, is Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. All of us, just like Father Snow was saying, all of us matter, not only matter, we are actually one. We are all connected. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam means we are all related. That is the foundational truth that we can provide. And we are definitely going forward will be with the Calgary Interfaith Council in all our programs as much as we can. Thank you.
I would just say I'm Mary Rosetta Coquet from the Presbytery of Calgary MacLeod. And we continue to be a member of the Calgary Interfaith Council because we feel God is leading us to be here and do that in a world where we are all God's children, but are having perhaps a hard time getting along with each other. It's important to come together and practice love.
Adrian?
Again, I'm Father Adrian Martins. I'm the Ecumenical Interreligious Coordinator for the Roman Catholic Bishop here. And we support the work of Calgary Interfaith Council because in our scriptures and in all Christian scriptures, it says that we're given the mission or the ministry of reconciliation.
I think that's the beads of our mala, or the beads of our rosary on the for the registered membership for our Calgary Interfaith Council. And what a beautiful, unified value set that we have to serve the Calgary community. I'm very proud of the Calgary Interfaith Council. And amazingly, I do apologize. We had to keep all the statements brief because we are just 2 minutes behind schedule. We have to keep you all on schedule so that we can get you out for the rest of the evening. But now we come to the business section of our meeting. And we have a few things to do in our business section. First of all, we'd like to share the financial statements for the last year. And I would like to call on Sister Jer, who is our treasurer, to present the financial statements. And I believe Sister Jer was going to kind of walk us through this.
Good evening, everybody, again. And I'm very pleased to say we have more in our account this year than we had last year. Significant events during the year are that we got charitable status. And that means in one way we have more paperwork, but it entitles us to participate and maybe claim grants in the future. So we're very pleased about that. Our accounts were audited this year by Father Adrian Martins and Reverend Tom Melvin, two of our committee in the articles of governance of our interfaith committee. This may happen, and that is what happened. The two were chosen because their expertise in their own areas to do with CRA and to do with charitable status. So I thank them both straight away before I start giving my report. From looking at the accounts here, you can see this year, everything in red is what our income and what we received. There was a very successful membership drive this year. Last year, because of COVID, there were no fees required. This year they were, and individual contributions this year were 1,334.80. The institution contributions were 17,588.60. An institution contribution, generally speaking, is $250, but we were very blessed this year that we had two legacy donors who contributed $5,000 each. So that certainly inflated the institution contributions there, and that's where the 17,588 came from. We had a few general contributions of 287.33. We had some interest from the bank, and our total revenue was $19,216. Our expenses, we have one administrator who administrators our everything that comes in under Info Calgary, and she passes on some financial stuff to me as part of that as well. Our website is continuously manned at $1,166.92. We didn't do advertising. We didn't have a banner because we didn't have a public Interfaith and Harmony Week this year. We had a membership video made when the membership drive started, and that is on our website, and that costs $250. CAG membership, that's Calgary Faith Alliance, it's $500. We made no contributions. We didn't do the blanket exercise this year. There were no postage. Everything was done online. Bank charges were $13.40. Our Zoom account cost $280.35 to maintain. So our total expenses was $2,790.67. At this moment in time, we have $35,701.75 in our account, which is considerably better than last year, where we had $19,276.42 at the close of our accounts. Anybody has any questions? If I could answer them, I'd be happy to do so.
Okay, not seeing any hands up or anybody rushing to ask a question, but because we are virtual, we will give a little bit of an awkward pause just in case somebody is trying to get off mute. Okay, well, I thank you so much, Sister Jer, and for the rest of our membership, the registered membership. You should know that Sister Jer is our treasurer, and we thank her for the job that she does for the Calgary Interfaith Council. And I also do understand that there are some people joining us from different communities that may not be registered members of the Calgary Interfaith Council. And I do want to acknowledge them and also acknowledge their being here and welcome them as well. Now I'd like to move to acknowledging those members of the board that are not continuing on of last year's board, 2021 to 2022. Those individuals who were part of the board and now are stepping off the board. Reverend John Pentland, he was one of our co-chairs. We had 3 co-chairs last year. He was also the chair of the programming committee. Imam Fayaz Tilley, Eric Friedberger, Ron Semenoff, Imam Hadi Hassan, who was also, you heard from, and the co-chair of one of our 3 co-chairs, as well as the co-chair of the communications committee, and Manib Ali. So I'd like to thank those members for serving on the board last year. So right now, we are actually going to go to the election of the new board of directors for the 2022-2023 board of the Calgary Interfaith Council. And so just for the information of the membership, there was a call for nominations to sit as a director on the CIC board, which went out to all membership. And that call for nominations did close on May 13th. And I'd like to ask Abbas if he could put up the PowerPoint presentation. And I'd like to introduce from the very beginning the members who put their names forward. All right, so we have first off, Rabbi Mark Glickman, the Temple Baha'i Tikvah. Next, we have Bishop Dalton Harding as the secretary. Next, we have Sister Jer, who is our treasurer, whom you just heard from. We also have Pastor Wallace Bornhouse as a director. We have myself, yours truly, as a director. Tom Melvin, as well, as a director, United Church of Canada. Reverend Adrian Martins as a director as well, whom you've heard from. Eva Torn-Thomas as a director. Reverend Tony Snow, whom you've heard from as a director. Malik Ashraf, as a director. and Carrie Davis as a director. And those were the candidates that came forward. And since we filled all the positions, there was no need for an election per se, because there was no contested positions. So we would like to have our registered membership to vote for the board, to acclaim our board, as there are no contesting nominations. So for this process, we'd like to have each registered faith member will have one vote. And so please vote now, either by clicking in the hand up in the Zoom feature at the lower part of your screen, or raise your hand on the screen, and please keep your hand up so your vote can be counted. We'll just give a few moments so that we can count all the votes. And Dalton will let me know when it's all done.
Where did you say that I will find that voting thing?
Yeah, if you go down to the bottom of the Zoom, you'll see reactions. And when you click on the reactions, it'll say raise your hand, or you can just raise your hand in your picture on the camera.
That makes easy.
And then if you do raise your hand, please keep your hand raised so that we can count.
Okay, I've got everyone.
Okay, thank you so much. And so
Passed with flying colors.
All right, I believe that we have unanimous approval. And so by majority vote of the membership present here tonight, the board has been approved by acclamation. So congratulations to the new board of the CIC for the 2022-2023 season. And so with this, the new board, we're going to put the board to work right away. And so you may have noticed that with the some of the board that we presented in the PowerPoint had positions already, because they were willing to accept the responsibility for positions. And so right now I would like to introduce the chair of the 2022 CIC board, Rabbi Mark Glickman, who is the rabbi of B'nai Tikvah. And Rabbi has been a member of the previous CIC boards and also serves on the Calgary Conference of Christians and Jews. So I'm going to turn it over to Rabbi Glickman.
Well, thank you, Dr. Singh. And what a joy, what a thrill and an honor it is to have been elected chairman of the Calgary Interfaith Council. I really want to echo our gratitude for those members of last year's board who are stepping off, and to the members of this coming year's board for your commitment to this important organization. I've been involved with the council ever since I first arrived to Calgary to begin serving as the rabbi of Temple B'nai Tikvah 6 years ago, when my friend and colleague, Rabbi Shaul Osachi, who's with us here this evening, pulled me aside and told me all about it. Since then, I've been blessed to get to know the wonderful people involved in the sacred work of this group. This means that I get to be friends not only with the Jews in my own community, but also with the Muslims and Hindus and Sikhs and Baha'is who are part of this group, not to mention some really nice Christians too. And I'm not the only one to enjoy such blessings. Ever since this organization was created back in 2014, it has functioned as a unifying force here in Calgary, bringing together individuals and communities who might otherwise have remained isolated from one another in their own faith silos. We've studied together, we've worshiped together, we've sung together, and at times of tragedy, we've grieved together too. Do you realize that there are more than 240 ethnic groups here in Calgary. To me, that's an amazing number. And many of them come with their own religions. As a result, being part of the CIC has allowed us to experience this community more fully and more strongly than we would have been able to do without it. The CIC, in other words, has helped make us better Calgarians. For me, being part of this organization not only allows me to build these wonderful friendships, but also to affirm some important Jewish values too. Jewish tradition, you see, like other religions, teaches that every one of us bears a spark of God's presence, and that each of us, therefore, has something important to teach. In fact, a sage named Shimon ben Zoma taught, or perhaps said this best almost 2,000 years ago. He said, Ezahu chacham, who is truly wise, halomed mikol adam, the person who learns from every human being. Yes, I'm a proud Jew, and as such, I've committed myself to studying Judaism, to learning its wisdom and embodying and living its values in everything I do. And when Judaism disagrees with other religions, I'll tell you, I think that Judaism usually gets it right. But here's the thing. Every once in a while, Judaism doesn't get it right. And sometimes it only gets part of the truth. And sometimes other religions have lessons to teach that agree with Judaism, but also can deepen my understanding of it. And this is one of the many reasons that you all are so important to me. You help keep me honest. You make me a better person, and often you help make me a better Jew as well. We in the CIC have been at this work for 8 years now. Under the leadership of and commitment of our caring leaders, and with the support of our membership, we've participated in open houses. We've celebrated Interfaith Harmony Week. We've stood together against hate. We've built friendships and learned together. And we've been getting pretty good at this work. In fact, we've been getting so good at this work that we now stand on the threshold of taking things to the next step. We've just become able to bring on Sarah Arthurs, as you heard a few minutes ago, to serve as our executive director. I've really enjoyed getting to know her in the past several weeks, and I know that she's going to bring her unique set of skills and passions to enrich our work and help us fulfill our mission of helping to build a just and compassionate and respectful community. With Sarah's help, and with the help of each of you, we're now in a position to put ourselves on the map as never before. Now is the time to take things to the next step, to ratchet up our activities, to become even more extensively the central address of religion in Calgary, Alberta. How are we going to do that? Well, that's a question we're going to need to work out together. But I do have a few ideas. First, learn. We need to take every opportunity to learn about one another's religions and to teach them widely in our community. Doing this will help challenge us and help us grow. If we do it right, we'll see great richness in religious perspectives other than our own, and we'll also find ideas, outlooks, and practices that we reject. Our encounter with one another's religions can help each of us to gain a clearer picture of our own religious world, of who we are, and also who we aren't. In fact, I'll take it a step further. In a community as religiously diverse as Calgary, a community with so many treasure troves of wisdom and conduct as near to us as our neighbors' homes and places of worship, not to learn what those people next door have to teach us would be a foolish waste of an opportunity. So we're going to have educational programming. We've already begun our Interfaith Bible study and other dialogue programs, and we'll have more. The possibilities are endless. Couldn't we have an Ask the Clergy booth at the Folk Festival? Might there be opportunities in the local media for leaders of our groups to take turns teaching about our religions? And lots of our religious and ethnic groups like to eat pancakes of different kinds. It sounds like the makings of an interfaith stampede breakfast to me. Our neighbors have much to teach us. Let us learn together. Second, we'll join together for ritual. Many of us attend our own places of worship regularly, so we're not going to need weekly services. But when Calgary celebrates joyous events, we can help give our neighbors an opportunity to sing together. And at important gatherings, we as the religious community can help set the tone. And when tragedy strikes, we can help our community grieve in solidarity. People of all kinds need ritual, and for us in this group, ritual is our bread and butter. Let us provide leadership in this way too. Finally, it is our job as Calgary's interfaith organization to let the prophetic voice of religion ring forth in our community. Of course, I'm not saying that it's our job to proselytize for our own religious traditions or for religion in general. It's not our job to shove our religions down the throats of our uninterested neighbors. What I am saying, however, is that when religion functions well in a democratic society, it becomes a voice of conscience. As religious Calgarians, we have something to teach. We are committed, like many others, to building a just and more compassionate community, and that commitment matters. Of course, there are issues regarding which we don't have consensus within our group. I don't think we're going to be able to get involved in issues of abortion or gay rights or many elements of what's going on in the Middle East. But what about questions of how we treat our needy or homeless neighbors? Or the rise of legislation elsewhere in Canada that would restrict the wearing of certain religious garb, or reconciliation between Indigenous and non-Indigenous members of our community. These are questions about which our religions have important lessons to teach. And as religious Calgarians, we must not be silent. Instead, the Calgary Interfaith Council should be at city council meetings and at legislative sessions in Edmonton. We should be in the paper speaking out about what is important to us. We should let the collective voice of our great religious traditions be heard, because in that voice is great wisdom and great power. To be silent is to be complicit in society's wrongs, especially when our silence mutes the time-honored sacred religious wisdom that we all embrace. So my friends, won't you join me in this sacred work this year? Together, let's learn the wisdom of the many great religions being practiced all around us here in Calgary. Together, let's lead our community in moments of shared awe and feeling. Together, let us give voice to the shared call to sanctity that all our religions provide. Ezehu Chacham Halomed Mikol Adam. Who is truly wise? The person who learns from every human being. This is who we are. This year, let us grow together in learning and our shared commitment to letting our many religions help build an even better Calgary. Shalom, salam, peace to you all.
Thank you so much, Rabbi Glickman, our new chairman of the board. And so with that, I'm going to press on so we can stay on time. I'd like to introduce our new executive director, Sarah Arthurs. And we're really pleased to introduce her to the membership, because many of the membership may recognize Sarah, as she's done extensive community work via the digital media platform New Scoop YYC, and she also worked with the first CIC Interfaith Harmony Week in 2017. Sarah not only has a master's in education and a BA in theology, but a breadth of community experience and professional work with Calgary Poverty Reduction Initiative, Green Exodus, and Calgary First Credit Union. So I would like to introduce Sarah Arthurs to share some words with our membership.
Good evening. Well, it feels very rich to be here this evening with you. I feel like a sponge. I'm just soaking up the names, the statements you're making, the faces, the energy that you're bringing, and the wise words that you're saying, the hopes that you have for this organization. I feel a bit as if with the roll call, it was like a cake, and then Rabbi Glickman has put the icing and the cherry on the top. Like, I just feel like it's an abundance of goodness and possibility. So I'm so glad to be joining this organization in a leadership position. As Dr. Singh referenced, I was very involved with CIC in 2017 and was so happy to be part of the events and part of the recording the events that contributed to winning the prize, which was just such an amazing gift for all of us in terms of helping us have a sense of going in the right direction. And so I'm really thrilled to be joining you now 5 years later, and as your organization has matured, and I look forward to listening to and supporting the energy and the ideas and the goodwill that is here to be a voice for peace and diversity and creativity and presence in this community. I hope that we will be able to create occasions to come together, to benefit from one another's energy and creativity, and to do things together. I really enjoyed what Dr. Singh said at the beginning. I believe profoundly that there's so much we can do together that we can't do apart by ourselves. So I look forward to working with you over the next year, and I am anticipating this time next year at the AGM that I will know many of you so much better, and we will have had creative adventures in our city together, supporting peace and interfaith harmony. So I'm just glad to be joining the team and look forward to getting to know you better. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sarah. All right, so now it's time for all of you attending, all of you, the members, registered and non-registered, our guests as well. We'd like to engage you in some really important dialogue. And so we will be splitting down into groups, into Zoom breakout groups facilitated by our new board of directors. And so we get everybody to work right away. That's our motto. And so we have some questions that will be facilitated by those new directors to give the board some input into determining the next year's priorities. And so we're asking you to think into the future and think about if it was June 2nd, 2025, we're in 2022, 3 years out, and the members of CIC have gathered for their AGM, maybe a meal, maybe a celebration. In the best of all possibilities and worlds, what will we be celebrating? What has happened that we're absolutely thrilled about? It could be an event, a program, a partnership. And so I'm going to remind all of the new directors to take notes, and we will have approximately 12 to 13 minutes, hopefully 15 minutes for this engagement. And you will be automatically broken out into Zoom breakout groups. And then a little message will come and say, please leave the group and you can return back to the main meeting. So have creative fun and let's get to work. I think we have the majority of people back now, which is great. So I hope everybody enjoyed the breakout engagement that we had. A little constrained because we are virtual, and hopefully next year it'll be in person. But in closing, I would like to thank all the faith membership representatives for attending the annual general meeting, and also those guests who attended the annual general meeting. We hope that you will become members, individual members, or even faith group members. And I do see that Rabbi Osachi was joining us as well. So I want to appreciate him joining us from Texas. Each and every one of you, your time and your engagement is valued. And I'd really like to thank the AGM subcommittee for helping us organize this, as well as our secretary, Bishop Dalton Harding, to whom everybody, he knows everybody, and to whom we run to for anything. We always go, call Dalton, ask Dalton. So thank you, Dalton, so much for that. I'd like to also thank Abbas Momin for his technical support this evening. And we will be reaching out to the membership for interest in sitting on our upcoming board committees for further engagement. So we do hope that you will be engaged with the Calgary Interfaith Council to deepen these relationships across the faith traditions, to celebrate diversity, and to learn from and about each other. So let us build a stronger interfaith community across the city of Calgary, and so that its residents and everyone feel that they are included, feel that they are safe, and feel that they are respected. I have one announcement to make of an upcoming program. Our programming committee has an interfaith prayer gathering that will be happening on the evening of June 15th. And the theme is prayers to prevent violence. And this is in light of the violent situations that have occurred in the United States with the Texas school shootings and the violence that has existed against many of our faith groups. There will be an email going out with a Zoom link for that prayer service, which will be sent out. So I hope you all stay safe and are engaged with energy for the next year with the Calgary Interfaith Council. And so in order to close our AGM, I would like to invite Eva May Thomas, who will be also hosting that interfaith prayer reflections from our programming committee. I'd like to ask Eva to offer a closing prayer.
O thou merciful God, O thou who art mighty and powerful, O thou most kind Father, these servants have gathered together, turning to thee, supplicating thy threshold, desiring thine endless bounties from thy great assurance. They have no purpose save thy good pleasure. They have no intention save service to the world of humanity. O God, make this assemblage radiant. Make the hearts merciful. Confer the bounties of the Holy Spirit. Endow them with a power from heaven. Bless them with heavenly minds. Increase their sincerity so that with all humility and contrition, they may turn to thy kingdom and be occupied with service to the world of humanity. May each one become a radiant candle. May each one become a brilliant star. May each one become beautiful in color and redolent of fragrance in the kingdom of God. O kind Father, confer thy blessings. Consider not our shortcomings. Shelter us under thy protection. Remember not our sins. Heal us with thy mercy. We are weak, thou art mighty. We are poor, thou art rich. We are sick, thou art the physician. We are needy, thou art most generous. O God, endow us with thy providence. Thou art the powerful, thou art the giver, thou art the beneficent.
Thank you so much, Eva, for that closing prayer. So good night, everyone, and God bless each and every one of us with peace and engagement and richness of community. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Good night.